Okay, the Snow White cope, the Snow White Disney Shill crybabies. You guys know we're going to continue the grift. And I had to put this guy up because he had one of the line. Did you guys catch Disney Shills defend Snow White? Because this guy had one of the lines of the entire video. Believe it or not. And a lot of people in the comments were laughing their asses off at this guy. So I just had to show you guys once again. That's right, Backseater. We're going to keep the grift going. It's what we do. It's what we do. We have to make our money, right? The colors. Yes, the colors. I don't remember exactly where it was, but this guy, how about this, chat? Snow White review, Snow White 2025, a whopping 2 minutes and 16 seconds. Not a very informative review. But yes, this is a ultimate shill face guy, yes.
What's going on, guys? I just got done watching Snow White, the brand new live action film from Disney, and here are my initial thoughts and review, I guess you could say. So Rachel Zegler is the star of this movie. She does a phenomenal job. Her singing is beautiful.
That's the narrative. That's the one narrative all these people are pushing, you guys. The Rachel Zegler is the best part of this movie. Unfortunately, she's the reason that the movie's bombing.
She's on screen. She's absolutely flawless. She does a great job in this film. Obviously, those interviews were questionable. You know, if you know, you know. Gal Gadot was all right. I did not really enjoy her as the evil queen. I just didn't like her character. It wasn't that good. And her song that she sang just wasn't that good as well. But every other song was done fairly well. The dwarfs and the CGI was weird and wonky. Very, very weird.
What'd you got? Weird. What'd you guys think of the shills, like, defending the dwarfs? What'd you think of, like, Roka and Campeaa all defending the CGI dwarfs? Like, these are the guys, right? As I said in the video, these are the guys who, oh my God, Jack, I think the car is parked, but yes, don't shill and drive. He's shilling in the car. Shilling in the car, you are right. But what did you guys think of, like, all of those guys, like Campeaa and Roka, like, defending the dwarfs? Like, aren't these the guys who are for more representation, underrepresented groups being represented in movies? I guess not for little people, right? I guess they don't like little people. I guess they don't like dwarf actors. They don't want them getting jobs. Everybody else, they'll fucking champion the race swaps and everything. They'll champion all of that, but you know, not the dwarf actors, man. Kind of discriminatory, if you ask me. Anyway,
the whole CGI throughout this movie was weird. It was. You can't just get around that. It was weird. It looks weird. It looks kind of like animation, but it's not animation. It's CGI, so it makes it look all funky and smooth like Play-Doh. I don't know.
Get to the colors, man. Get to the colors. The chat and we want to hear about the colors.
I didn't mind it, but you know, they weren't too bad. They sang their songs, they did their thing, and that was that. This is a very colorful film.
Here we go.
If you like colors, you're gonna enjoy most of this movie.
Wow. If you enjoy colors, you're going to enjoy this movie. What does that even mean? There's a chat. I know there's a Rachel Zegler DEI joke somewhere in this. I can't quite put it together.
You like songs, they did their thing, and that was that. This is a very colorful film. If you like colors, you're gonna enjoy most of this movie. I'm
telling you, there's a DEI Rachel Zegler joke somewhere in that. If you like colors, chat, well, you know, I don't mind colors, I guess. I don't mind colors. But, you know, I didn't really like this movie. I think you're full of shit, man. Yeah, I agree. 2 minutes and 16-second review. Why even upload this? What a lazy content. Can't even go home and do a nice setup and come up with an actual review. Anyway, not enough to get this guy in on the ballot for tonight, get him on the list, but I did want to revisit that really quickly. Darth Ghostface putting them colors up. Darth Ghostface likes colors. Pretty colors, man. Color boy. All right, who is next, you guys? Who is next? I know who's next. I know who's next.
That down guy.
Next up is John Campeaa. Disney Snow White opens lower than expected. And these guys, we remember last week. I'm very disappointed because CinemaCope was not in this video. I was looking forward to hear what CinemaCope had to say after him saying that Nerdrotic's friend, who is usually the voice of reason on this show, CinemaCope, after saying that this movie's gonna be huge, baby, this movie's gonna be huge. Rachel Zegler's young. Rachel Zegler's, we gotta look the other way with regards to what Rachel Zegler said. We're gonna get into the what she said in a little bit. So John Campeaa, you guys can tell as we get into this, and the first soundbite is at 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Let me jump there. You can tell by the look on his face here, how disappointed Campeaa is, because he wanted this movie to succeed. He wanted this movie to own the chuds, right? He wanted this to own the incels who accused Disney of paying reviewers, right? You guys saw the video last week. So let's hear. So a lot of cope really from Campeaa, and some of it's pretty funny. So first soundbite, 4 minutes 40 seconds.
This is not a good start. This is right about where I expected it would have opened, around the $40 to $45 million range mark. Again,
really, because you were championing those early positive reviews last week, man. You were, I know this one guy who absolutely hates Rachel Zegler, and he's like, yeah, it was a good movie. Whatever happened to that? Funny how that narrative completely got lost, isn't it?
Understand, Mufasa, another movie I didn't like. Mufasa opened to less and made almost 700 million more. Can Snow White do that as well? It has a chance.
So Snow White, according to John Campeaa, you guys, Snow White has a chance to surpass $700 million at the box office like Mufasa did. Mufasa made money because, again, we know why Mufasa made money. Disney bullied theaters. Disney kept it in the theaters for a very long time, manipulated the system to get that. Even if they did that with Snow White, by the way, you guys, Snow White's going up against relatively zero competition. Mufasa was going up against Sonic 3, which beat Mufasa early on out of the gate domestically. But Snow White is going up against absolutely nothing, and it still did worse than Mufasa. But this movie has a chance. I need the Dumb and Dumber clip, right? You're telling me there's a chance that Snow White can surpass Mufasa, do as well as Mufasa is.
As well. It has a chance. I mean, like Mufasa, it is a family appealing film, and more people went out to go see this than went out to go see Mufasa opening weekend. It has a pretty soft couple of weeks in front of it, so it should be able to maintain decently. I think the more realistic,
he wants it to do well, because if it bounces back, it's gonna fucking own the chuds. And we saw it last week. We saw how giddy everybody on this show was last week at those early first reactions. And we laughed our asses off at it. And then here we are now. Look at where we are now. Oh, yeah, it's a disappointment. I'm disappointed. I wanted it to do well. Low-key coping and seething, yes.
Number here is probably it coming in at around 350 to 400 million when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Which is not enough for it to break even.
Aww.
It is not enough for it to break
Look how
even.
disappointed he is. Look how disappointed he is. Okay, so correction. I guess that Snow White did in fact beat Mufasa, but you know, the reshoots, it cost a lot more, and we know how the reporting system goes. What Disney say that the movie cost, it usually costs a lot more. And Mufasa was going up against Sonic 3. Snow White was going up against absolutely jack shit. So yeah, so boo frickety who indeed. All right, so the next soundbite is at 9:10. Jump to that real quick. Already halfway done. Okay, let's hear what the Shill glasses. Let's hear what this brilliant woman has to say. I'm very disappointed though that Cinema Cope wasn't on here. I wanted to hear him. I wanted to hear him give us some Cinema Cope with regards to what he said last week about the movie being huge.
Just have in general, we do not consume film the way we used to. We have a
so she's blaming the movie going experience. You guys, she's blaming the movie going experience for this movie flopping and this movie bombing at the box office.
As
here we go.
Aladdin does right now.
Exactly.
Or Lion King or
Yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, you just have in general, we do not consume film the way we used to. We have a very different way that we are willing to watch movies now.
Aw.
And I feel like even with excellent films,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Deadpool and Wolverine make a fuck ton of money? Didn't it make a fuck ton of money?
people are just not going to movie theaters. This could have been the most incredible reimagining of Snow White, and I still don't think the numbers would have been that great because of this year we're having with the movies. You know, we're not seeing a huge return at the box office, and I'm genuinely really interested to see how everyone's pitching things at CinemaCon this year for you guys, because something's got to change. This is not good. That this is one of the highest grossing films of the year. Woof.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Barbie's another one. Yeah. Barbie's another one. Made a fuck ton of money. Like, movies are still making money. Yeah. Deadpool, Wolverine, 1.3 billion. Movies are making money. They just don't want to say that Rachel Zegler is the reason this movie did not make any money. And last one is at 1640. And Campeaa proceeds to just shit on the original Snow White. Campeaa, you guys, is about to shit on the original Snow White from the 1930s in order to defend this movie. Rachel Zegler's Snow White. Here it comes.
Kind of following up what you just said, I'm going to say something unpopular. The original story of Snow White is not that good.
No.
I'm sorry. I know that's like sacrilegious to say, but the actual story of Snow White is not that interesting.
It's a little.
Story.
That's what it's a little vain, right? Here's the.
Oh, so the original story sucked. The original story sucked, and that's why this movie's bombing. That's why. Yeah, it's not Rachel Zegler, right? It's not Rachel Zegler, and the fact that she is a just enormous cunt who completely fucked up the entire media campaign against this movie. It's not Rachel Zegler's fault that this movie's bombing at the box office. Speaking of Rachel Zegler, so what she said was, so basically, article came out that, you know, the excuse like, oh, Rachel Zegler's young and everything, yada. So basically, in a nutshell, the Rachel Zegler news that came out was basically that everything that she said was planned. Everything that she said, she really, really meant it. And Disney was in conversations with her behind closed doors saying like, hey, you need to shut the fuck up. Apparently Gal Gadot was getting death threats from Rachel Zegler fans because of the shit that she was saying. And she still kept opening her mouth and everything and didn't give a fuck and was a fucking cunt, as I've been saying for over a year now, behind the scenes. And that's basically like what's been going on. So that's the Rachel Zegler news, which everyone on this show defended. So that is Campeaa. You guys, pretty easy. Not very much Campeaa tonight for you guys. So we're gonna move. We are gonna move on. Who is next? I don't even remember. Oh, okay. I remember who's next. Part 2. The man who made the thumbnail on Snow White Shill's
This
Defend.
episode's about cutting through the noise and
The man who made the thumbnail. Diabeto Movie Robert. He's back, you guys. He is back. So for those of you who don't know, as you guys know, we covered him last week. He did a part 2, a follow-up to the video that we covered last week, a couple days after, I think it was like last Friday. He did a follow-up to that, and he basically just doubled down on everything. Half of this video were clips from the original video, so we're not going to go through that much. But the meltdown, the crybaby meltdown, continued with Movie Robert, and it begins at the very start of his video.
this episode's about cutting through the noise and the fake bullshit, speaking your mind, and being able to just watch a damn movie sometimes. 3 things that are getting harder to do in an uneasy world with an increasingly cluttered, broken, restricted internet. You know what can help? NordVPN.
Okay, how...
Guys, you're watching a web video in 2025. You know what a VPN does.
I got a question. How in the hell does this guy have a sponsor? How in the hell does this guy have a sponsor on his channel? Anyway, next soundbite is at 1 minute and 35 seconds. And here, cue the meltdown.
Ago, I posted my review of the new live-action Snow White movie.
Okay, so he's basically talking about, yeah, I posted my review, and I cut out a lot of the parts where I was bitching, whining, and moaning. I trimmed them down. Literally, over half of his review was him crying about the internet. So apparently there was more to it than that, and the meltdown continues. So here, I guess, are the deleted scenes from that, and it's fucking hilarious.
When I get this up, probably a couple days ago, I posted my review of the new live-action Snow White movie. It's fine, as you'll probably hear me say a couple times in the incoming footage. It's just fine. Nothing really wrong with it. Nothing spectacular about it. It's fine. I don't do or really interest myself in fucking box office analysis because I frankly don't get paid enough to...
Oh, you don't want to talk about, yeah, because the box office is horrendous. I'm sure if the box office for this movie was good, he would talk about it, right, chat? I guarantee if the box office, if this movie was kicking ass at the box office, right, I'm sure he would then be discussing it.
do that, and I have a soul. Fuck that noise. Since a lot of the reviews now that I try to get up as early as possible because the days of getting screenings a week out or even 2 weeks out from new movies seems to have basically subsided, especially with studios like Disney. So the screenings now, especially...
Oh, he didn't get his early access, chat. Can I get some crying emojis in the chat for Movie Bob because he didn't get his early access? Oh, God forbid. God forbid. It's because you said the movie was fine. You got to say it's amazing like all the other early reviewers did.
In a secondary market like Boston, I'm usually freestyling the review as opposed to getting a whole detailed script out, and as a result, I'm editing and cutting around my thoughts to get them in order. And what ended up happening is I had a bunch of thoughts that were straightforward about the movie and also a lot to say somewhat angrily, but
somewhat angrily.
Pretty coherently, at least for me, about all of this horseshit leading up to it, about the gossip and trying to tear down the actors and actresses, and all of this politicized YouTube shit, which I did a whole other episode about, not specifically leading up to this movie, just about the way that the YouTube algorithm rewards people for saying any upcoming movie sucks.
No, Robert. The algorithm rewards people who make good content. That's what the algorithm rewards. People who make shitty content, like yourself, don't get pushed as much. That's why 20K views 5 days ago. That's why my video, despite having, what? A third, besides you having almost 6 times as many subscribers as me, has more views than yours. That's why. Bobby, to answer your question.
Basically because YouTube is now in competition with all new movies and all other new media, and it has this rightward bent, but also everything sucks, nihilistic, cynical bent. And then it really went over the top about this one to the point where it was conspiratorial about what this movie was going to be, what it was not going to be, all of this gossip and rumor mongering, coupled with
Joe Rogan up there. He put Joe Rogan. Put Joe Rogan on it. Joe Rogan, chat, is a grifter.
a more general industry gossip magazine thing to trash the hell out of the young actress who is the lead of this movie, which has always been a shitty thing about the film industry and the way it treats young talent, specifically young women. And I ended up only leaving a fraction of that in the review because the review should be mostly about the movie. But
so what we watched last week was just a fraction of the meltdown that he had, and that was more than half of his video. Isn't that amazing? That's amazing to me.
But I didn't think that there was no value in calling that shit out, so I chopped out most of that and said, okay, I'll put it in a big picture episode. This is that, because I shot it, didn't want to throw it out completely when it could be its own thing. Here on this show, and especially on this channel, if it's monetizable, I'm going to use it. I don't just believe in the sunk cost fallacy, I believe...
Okay, we're going to jump ahead a little bit. Goes off, the meltdown continues at 4:10.
Never miss a chance to promote one of the other shows, so here's a clip from that, about that. Roll tape. So, did you hear about the woke Snow White? No, not the one still coming out where right-wing morons from YouTube, but I repeat my...
Piers Morgan. Is that Pierce? So we got Joe Rogan, and we got
One
Piers
still
Morgan.
coming out.
We got Piers Morgan. And spoiler alert for Roka. Roka has a fucking melt. Roka starts going after Piers Morgan in his section, which I believe is that, yeah, so Roka's next. Roka starts going off because Piers Morgan was talking about this.
Where right-wing morons from YouTube, but I repeat myself, noticed that gossip trades didn't like an actress, so they tried to jump on a bandwagon for media legitimacy and invented a whole imaginary movie to be mad about because stupid people don't know how pre-production works and got so worked up that Ben Shapiro's fake movie company is apparently going to burn a bunch of money making Snow White for Republicans. And meanwhile, when Disney finally showed a teaser shot for the...
I see why he took this out. By the way, is that Ben Shapiro? Is that Daily Wire Snow White still happening with Brett Cooper? Is that still even happening? I have no idea. I don't really follow the Daily Wire, but I did hear about that.
Actual movie, it just looked like a normal, boring-ass live-action Disney remake, so they all look even more insane than usual, which is saying something. No, I mean the actual woke Snow White, where they reverse the genders of the villain, flip the plot around so Snow White has to save the prince, and even replace the dwarves with lady dwarves who've got environmental powers. Should have been a link to that on the screen there. If not, there...
I mean, does that exist? Is that somebody's YouTube video? I don't even know what that is.
There'll be a link in the description. Check that episode out. Check that show out. It's good stuff, I think. And so, yeah, here is the angry bonus footage from the Snow White review. Please enjoy. For context, there is still some people, or don't enjoy and be mad at me, but watch, at least. So, like, after a fucking year of...
this is the same, you guys. This is the same as it is in his video last week.
The internet losing its goddamn mind about a Snow White movie. And whether or not they were going to...
He just can't not... Look, he just can't... Like, there's Ryan... I've seen Ryan Kinnell about 4 times. I saw Yellow Flash. There's Clownfish. Who else do we see here?
Be too different from the original Snow White movie.
Critical Drinker.
Oh my god, are there going to be dwarves in the movie? Are they going to change the movie?
Quartering.
Is the Snow White not white enough? Guys, what the fuck is wrong with you? Seriously. That's some fucked up shit to be mad about. Like, I'll like, write a leeway for people to be mad about shit a lot, but goddamn. Look at his screenshots.
Yeah, this guy is, yes, we need to be more like Bob here. We need to be more like Bob. We need to stalk women like, Bobby here, right, chat?
Of like actors saying, are these the dwarves? Those don't look like dwarves. Did they take out dwarves because Peter Dinklage said some shit? Where the hell did that come from?
He said it. Bobby, you need to do your research, buddy. Peter Dinklage said that. Like, what was it, 2 years ago? Yeah, Daniel, I agree.
The new live-action remake of Snow White turns out to be probably the most, like, faithful in terms of just being the original movie with a couple differences and add some new songs and some other characters so that the second act is a little bit longer. And
Okay, so that's Movie Bob. You guys, he basically, literally the rest of this video is the same video we watched last week. So, I'm not going to go through that again. He won last week. Now, does he have enough to win again this week? Maybe. I do think that he gave us enough.
You just made the list.
Gave us enough to make the list. Indeed, you guys. So I think he did give us just quite enough. Now, let's get to everyone's favorite. Jean Roka. There he is. There he is. My biggest fan. My biggest fan by far. Jean Roka. First soundbite is at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So basically, Christian Harloff kind of goes off. Christian Harloff kind of rips Rachel Zegler and says, like, talking about how, like, yeah, what she's an idiot for what she said. Christian Harloff is like he's really going like anti-Disney as of late. He's been like he comes out and like say he's not as bad as he used to be on Collider. I will give him that. He used to be like top shill. And now they're like going like he's starting to go against Disney, and Roka as well, believe it or not, is starting to go against Disney as well, but because like he thinks that Disney isn't woke enough. So that's like why he's still going against Disney. Oh yeah, absolutely. He's still like the fucking crybaby and everything. He tries to ride. He's a fence rider now. He's doing the Star Wars theory. He's doing the fence riding now. That's exactly what he's doing now. I don't think it's a redemption arc. No, I'm not going to go that far. He's just gone from Disney shill to Disney fence rider.
Just not likable to a lot of people right now. And that's your lead. So you're in trouble. I really do think that she's a major cause for this movie doing as poorly as it did.
Okay, so he's basically saying that Rachel Zegler is the reason that this movie is fucking failing right now. And I agree with that. So then Roka's about to chime in, and he's going to agree, but to an extent. So let's get into it.
Yes, I agree. To an extent. Like, I agree that her comments, which I will not give her, like, I will not.
It's like he doesn't disagree with what she said. He's just going the like, yeah, if you're promoting a movie, you shouldn't have said it route. And yes, here we go.
Not tell the truth about it. Those comments were pretty arrogant, pretty condescending, no matter how many people want to paint it. When you go weird,
you're talking about yeah, okay, the original.
This is the only thing.
Roka's about to do the weird, you guys. Don't worry, he does it again. He's about to do the weird.
The only thing people are holding on to, okay,
yeah,
is the only thing. And she has done many other interviews, many other comments, many other fan events to try to make up for that mistake on the red carpet. She has done it, right?
And she's fucked up since then as well, but that's fine. We don't have to talk about that.
Right? But they were like, oh, but she said, you know, that's weird, and make it. So those are little comments.
Oh, we're going to have to clip that. We're going to have to clip that, you guys. That's hilarious.
But they were like, oh, but she said, you know, that's weird, and make it. So those are.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for that. And holy shit, you guys, real quick. Mr. Blurred Out gifted 20 Mr. Grizzy memberships. Thank you, Mr. Blurred Out.
Oh, fuck. Let's go.
Oh my God! Let's go!
Fuck yes!
Thank you, Mr. Blurred Out. I appreciate it. One more time.
Done it, right? But they were like, oh, but she said, you know, that's weird, and make it. So those are little comments that were condescending. She was judgmental of a classic that people enjoy from back in the old days. And I get it. She was trying to put out that this was more of a feminist take. She was much more of a lead and she had more to do than to sit around waiting for the dwarves and waiting for a prince to kiss her. I totally get it. I think there's nothing wrong with that. You want to make your female.
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with what she said. She just shouldn't have said it.
Lead a little more active. You want to give her more agency. We're all grown-ups. I think we can handle that, for God's sakes.
Here we go.
The problem, though, and I think this is where there's a little bit of a falseness in this premise, is that people had took that and for their own benefit ran with it, goaded their rabid, angry, anti-woke, anti-switching race
Here we go.
For the lead characters.
Yeah, because you don't do that. You don't do that with Orange Man, right? Everything he says, you take it and fucking go fucking beast mode on it. I mean, just go on his Twitter. Go on his Twitter. Everything is, or his entire Twitter is TDS. Orange Man bad. His entire Twitter.
Things and
he does the same thing.
Milked it. I mean, I was watching a Piers Morgan clip on TikTok, and I'm like, why is Piers Morgan even having a conversation about this with almost all adult men?
Can I give you the answer?
I assume he's talking here about when Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic went on Piers Morgan, because correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but didn't Critical Drinker and Nerdrotic go on with Piers Morgan to talk about this? But like, why isn't Piers Morgan allowed to talk about this? Piers Morgan is allowed to talk about this. I mean, I'm not the biggest Piers Morgan fan, but I don't hate him either. Like, it's kind of like, he says some stuff that I kind of like think is cringe and weird and stuff, but like, he has a decent show. He has people of all sides. There's some like really entertaining clips from his show. Like, he gets like the lunatics and he brings them on to talk to them, and he just and they continue to come on his show, and he just exposes them. So I love how he exposes the lunatics. Yes, they've been on a few times. Yes, correct. So I assume that's what he's talking about here.
On TikTok, and I'm like, why is Piers Morgan even having a conversation about this with almost all adult men?
Can I give you the answer? Can I give you the answer?
No, sure, let me finish. But screeching about something that is so not a big deal, but people they want to make a big deal out of it because they stoke the culture war fire. Same thing with Gal Gadot. They stoked the culture war fire. She wasn't out here like wearing Israeli flags on every dress and clapping but because of her past comments and her being involved in this, they drag the political stuff in it because that's how they're going to get clicks, likes, engagement, and money. And so to me, there's a bit
that's all. There we go. That's all we care about, because these guys don't make money. These guys don't make any money. These guys make more money than we do. Christian Harloff makes a fuck ton more money than I do. Christian Harloff, how many subscribers is Christian Harloff up to? Look at that. Christian Harloff's up to 100, and he's gotten like 100,000 subscribers in just over a year. You see what, like, Roka is, we might pass Roka in subscribers by the end of the year. Roka, well, like, why do you think that Harloff is at 187,000 subscribers Harloff's at 187K and Roka's at like 38, 39K. Why do you think that is? Because like Harloff's not a fucking lunatic. Like, yeah, I'm sure he's like a lunatic in real life, probably. He's like a shill deep down, but like when he comes on his show, he kind of sets that to the side and tries to play the middle, tries to do the fence riding thing, right? It's amazing, really. Anyway, let's continue.
There's a bit of falsity on the premise, but I think there is a bit of truth in the criticism, but I think they're somewhere in the middle.
Okay, so then the conversation takes an interesting turn. Then it takes an interesting turn. They start talking about something that I talk about all the time. Maybe they watch the show. They start talking about those early first reviews and paying off people, the first reactors, the first reactions, which is what you hear. So I found this very interesting. I think it starts now at 15:15. So here goes that conversation. I found this very interesting.
Considering so many forces were against this movie from the beginning, before Rachel even said a word on the red carpet.
Okay, it's not yet. We're going into the Rachel Zegler defense now. So here we go. My bad. That's the next clip.
These
people and channels who are invested in pushing these narratives about race swapping a character, because don't everything that was white from the beginning must always be white. Don't you dare put a black person in a white role, or a Latino person, a Latina.
So as you guys know, John Roka is for race swapping characters. He readmits that now. He is 100% for. Now, chat, I have to ask, how would John Roka react if the opposite were done? How would John Roka react if a Latino or a Latina character were switched to a white character? I'm sure he wouldn't like that at all. I'm sure he would call that a step in the wrong direction. I guarantee they would. And these people lose that argument. These people always will lose this argument, because if someone dared do the opposite, if they made exactly, Crazy Wolf, that's an example that I've used in the past. If they made Bucky Barnes Black Panther, these people would lose their shit over it. Abso-fucking-lutely. They would lose their shit over it. And you've lost the argument. If it's okay to race swap in one direction, then it should be okay to do a race swap or a gender swap or whatever in the other direction. Because they want less white people which brings me back to the dwarfs thing. Like, little people, it's very hard for dwarf actors to find jobs in Hollywood. It's very difficult. And there were 7 positions, and then he in his Snow White review was praising the CGI dwarfs. Like, I don't get that. I don't get it at all. Unbelievable. Melissa Lord wants Ryan Gosling in the Black Panther movie. There you go. That'd be an upgrade, wouldn't it, chat? And by the way, if they ever were to do that, if they were ever to race swap a character in the opposite direction, we would remain consistent in calling it out. That's stupid. That's retarded. If they made a white Blade, if they made a white Blade, remember in that Netflix Resident Evil series when they race swapped Albert Wesker and he literally looked like Blade? He looked exactly like Blade. It just it didn't work. It doesn't work. And that's probably what would happen if they race swapped Blade with a white guy. He'd look like Albert Wesker. Remember that Resident Evil Netflix series, that god-awful one, completely failed? Anyway.
Into a white role. Like, their engines were already going. And then, as you said, what she said on the red carpet just gave them exactly what they wanted, the fuel they wanted, and they used that. So I think there are some nefarious actors within this criticism of the film, but there were so many things against it. So the fact that it got to 42, I think, is okay, even though it underperformed.
Getting to 42 is good enough, right? It's good enough. All right. So I think Roka is in, you guys. I think he's made the ballot. What say you? In or out?
You just made the list.
Thank you, Chris. Now we're going to get into that one thing I was telling you about, the early and I just found this very interesting. And they're going to talk about it. Let's hear it.
Doesn't happen. But it doesn't mean that they don't.
Hang on a second. So Harloff says something very interesting. I skipped past it. Hang on. So Harloff says something very interesting right here.
Who don't understand how business works, who say
Not
like
business, right.
No, who say like that that critics are paid by the studios. That's a low intelligent dumb person, because that just doesn't happen.
Harloff, you can call me whatever you want. You can say that all day long. You will never convince me. We all remember. Again, if Harloff, explain to me this photograph. Explain to me this photograph. All of these people received gift baskets. We saw the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed video I did today. Payment doesn't have to be money. It doesn't have to be money. Again, I'm not saying that these people are going to these early premieres and Disney's handing them a check and saying, positive review. Here's your check. Give us our positive review. I'm not saying I wouldn't be shocked if that's what's happening, but that's not what I'm saying is happening. I doubt that is happening. But you can call me whatever you want. Now, they are going to kind of moderate on that position here and then get into a lot of the very same things that I say here, which is very interesting as well. So let's continue. And I'll revisit that here in a little bit. What did I just do?
But it doesn't mean that they don't try to entice them.
Yeah.
By taking them to set visits and taking them.
It's still the same thing. To me, Harlan, to me, that's the same thing. Enticing people, payment. They try to entice people with reward. Take payment out and call it reward. They reward people for positive coverage. You can't deny that.
To like premieres and going to premieres and saying like, okay. And it's not a matter of you are at a premiere now. You have to give us a good review. It's no. Look at this review, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to seat them right near. Look at that person.
So Harloff used to go to these. Premieres. He says later, I don't know if we're going to get it, but he says later that he doesn't go to them anymore. He thinks they're annoying. But he says like they seat you next to the cast members. They entice you to give a positive review. And they give these people things. They give these people gift baskets. We remember the Acolyte gift baskets and the lightsabers that they gave.
Who writes for that site, they're going to look to their right, and there's Gal Gadot.
Right.
They're going to look over there. They're going to see this person. They're going to see that person. And then guess what also happens in that premiere?
Yeah.
Everyone who worked on the film sees the credits and goes, woo! And it's like when you're in a comedy club. If a subpar comedian is up and brings 60 friends to a room of 80, and everyone is laughing at this person, you're sitting in there going, is this funnier than I think it is? Why? Why? Oh, this is infectious. I don't get it as much, but now I'm laughing. And it's like, so it's that. Yeah. That's what happens. And the other thing they do is they've been inviting, and this is strategy. They've been inviting more influencers.
Yeah, more influencers.
Yep.
And the critics the critics things like, access is one thing, Tony. Access is the thing. That's different. Where you're saying, well, look, maybe some people feel, and but the studios aren't saying, hey, we're giving you access. You got to give us a good review. Now, you very well could have somebody who says, there's somebody who gets.
Now, you don't think, this I'm going to push back on. You don't think that they say to those people, these influencers, you don't think some producer or somebody running the event comes over to these people going to Snow White and saying, hey, we'd love to have you back for Thunderbolts. We'd love to invite you back for Fantastic Four. We'd love to invite you back for Avengers Doomsday. Just make sure you give us a fair review or something like that. You're telling me that something like those people aren't going to that and thinking, if I make Disney happy with this, they might invite me to Avengers Doomsday or Secret Wars or any of these things. I think it's a goddamn guarantee, in my opinion, of course. After my 2.5 years now, almost 3 years now of exposing shills, I've noticed this, and it happens. And you can call me all the names you want. You can laugh at me all you want for the paying and everything. Paying doesn't have to be a paycheck. Again, we saw the Ubisoft gift basket, $300 worth of gift baskets from Ubisoft to Assassin's Creed Shadows shills. Free copies of the game. Like, that's payment. $180 keyboard?
An influencer who goes to one of these things and says, you know what? I don't want to miss. I don't care whether or not people, I'm going to go. I had a good time. Yeah, that was great. And I'm not going to shit on it because I want to make sure I can go to the next one. I'm telling you, that probably.
Exactly what I just said. Exactly what I just said, you guys. So anyway, that is Harloff and Roka. What do you guys think? We got one more. So let's get into it.
The just say it's a bunch of DEI woke virtue signaling Disney remake bullshit, right? Yeah. And we'll just talk about that for a second because
apparently they gave a negative review of Snow White, right? And you know what I say? I think a lot of their own fans feel the same way that I do. It's probably some of you guys as well, just ripping on them. You guys know they say it all the time. They won't come out and say that a movie is trash. They won't come out and say that a movie sucks. And these guys, more than any of any other shills that I rip on, these are the guys that I get in my comment section. Yo, man, I used to be a fan of the Real Rejects, and honestly, I can't take them anymore. They're fucking shills. Or I used to be a fan of these guys, then I saw your videos, and then, like, yeah, you've shown me the light. These guys are fucking shills. They're bought and paid for. They do fucking fake reactions, and it's fucking pathetic. So anyway, here we go.
I don't think anyone who can listen would be like, this guy liked the movie.
Yeah, right.
And it's interesting to see there's still a good amount of people who were, like I said, there's variations, not everyone, there's still a good amount who are still coming at me going like, God, you're so woke. And the one that like,
They are, by the way. This is the guy. Remember, didn't these guys, remember how turned on this guy got in Agatha all along over the fucking two underage boys kissing? You guys remember that? How like they were like, oh yeah, man, like how turned on they were getting. Like remember them during Loki when he came out as bi, right? Remember how they reacted to that?
Like was just the stupidest one to me was, and someone pointed out in our community post, was that it's clearly a paid review. He would just make it sound like it's not as terrible as it is.
Sorry, these guys, what did I tell you guys? These guys get so triggered when you call them shill. One person in their comment says Disney paid you for this. These guys lose it and they have to come on their little podcast here and talk about it. They can't take it. I'm telling you, keep doing it. Keep fucking doing it. This is why low key, I hope these guys win top shill of the year, because I think and again, these guys have over 1 million subscribers. I think if these guys were to win it, they would not be able, I think it would literally do damage to their channel if they were to win it. Yeah, because they know that it's true. Exactly. They know it's true, and they have to, they feel like they have to come out and fucking put a stop to it right away. One person in their comments says, yeah, you guys are paid off for this.
I was like, the dumbest logic I could have ever heard from this is, you think Disney would pay someone not to say it's good, but just make it not sound as terrible as it is?
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Isn't that exactly what those early first reactions for Snow White were? Isn't that exactly like, oh, it's not as bad as I thought it was? Remember I lowered my expectations and I was pleasantly surprised. Isn't that exactly what we got? Isn't that exactly what those first reactions said? So yes, shill, Disney would not pay, because they always use that word pay. And when they say pay, they mean handing a check. They would reward people, encourage people to say that over other than the movie is fucking terrible. Abso-fucking-lutely.
You're F a C, not an A. It's the plausible lie.
Yeah. It is beyond dumb to me. And then like, and a lot of that is like, just say it's a piece of shit. What's with all the other stuff?
And they will never do it because it's hard to make. Remember what Soy Boy Koi said, chat? It's hard to make movies. People worked on these movies. People tried their best. And for us to come out and say that it's shit, we don't want to do that. We're rooting for these movies. We're not going to come out and say that it's shit. So if the Real Rejects come out and say that a movie's shit, I will deduct a point towards shill of the year, top shill of the year. If they come out and say one of these shitty movies, if they come out and say that this movie is shit and mean it, I will deduct a point for top shill of the year from the Real Rejects. Chat, remember I said that. Actually, never mind. Don't remember I said that because it's never going to happen. Jordy, you are 100% correct. The Chris Stuckman Madam Web review effect. You are 100% correct on that.
It is beyond dumb to me. And then like, and a lot of that is like, just say it's a piece of shit. What's with all the other stuff? And I'm like, wow.
Somebody else said it. Just say what the truth is, because they.
And you know what? You guys remember the Marvels? They almost did that. They almost did that with the Marvels. Remember the Marvels? They came out and said it was bad. and then they pissed off the fucking woke freaks in their fan base. And then they're like, oh, because people were calling them, because then people were starting to lump them in with the nerdrotics and the critical drinkers and the geeks and gamers, right? And they freaking can't stand especially Soy Boy Coy. Soy Boy Coy took a shot at geeks and gamers in one of their reaction videos or reviews or something. This was a while ago, but Soy Boy Coy did do that. So they do not want to be lumped in with these toxic grifters, right? So they can't come out and say that a movie's trash because they're scared to death of being lumped in with the fucking grifters, right? So they will never do it. They will never fucking do it. They just come out with this like, oh, it's the Acolyte, perfect example. Soy Boy Coy's like, the Acolyte, it's just not for me. It's not for me. I'm not going to say anything negative because there's people who enjoy it. But it's not that, it's not for me. And that's what they say. Rather than come out and say that something that is trash, just call a piece of shit a piece of shit.
Said it and it's the truth.
Yeah. And
because it matches what I want to hear.
I have not refreshed my brain on the stuff Rachel Zegler has said.
Now, all right, now keep that in mind, chat. Keep that in mind. This guy has not refreshed his brain on the Rachel Zegler drama, has no idea what the Rachel Zegler drama is, but he's about to go after everybody who was ripping on her. And I think it's about to get started here soon. 1:05:45. Let's jump to the next segment.
And that's a big contribution. Rachel Zegler in particular is a massive. I mean, but Gal Gadot seems to be getting it a lot on the equal end for her political point of views or whatever of why people will have written this movie off beforehand for that.
God forbid.
It's really easy to just I think for people who are angry with them. I do wonder if they actually sit alone when think about this. Do they actually simmer at another alone time? But and I'm sure there are some people who have taken it really personal to heart, especially when it comes to more of the sensitive real life.
This guy just said he has no idea what the Rachel Zegler drama is, but that's not stopping him from talking about it and criticizing others.
Controversial things, absolutely.
Yeah.
But if a lot of these people are also part of the same camp who are like, keep politics out of my movies, keep politics out of my film,
keep identity politics out of my movies, keep political agendas out of my movies. Politics in and of itself is fine. It's the identity politics and the preaching and the pushing your narratives. That's what people want kept out. I love that. This is another tactic these people use. They used it a lot with the Star Wars prequels, right? The Star Wars prequels, the Star Wars was always political, and you guys like that, so why don't you like Disney Star Wars?
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, that's what I wanted to do. That's why I was pointing out, I know there's stuff said. I'm not going to base it on any of that.
That stuff.
Okay, so next soundbite is at 1:07. Went a little far. Let's go back. There we go. Perfect. Here we go.
Just again, like I said, I didn't refresh myself on what Rachel Zegler has said. I didn't.
Yeah, he said it a second time.
Dive into what Gal Gadot said. I was just coming from my own personal experience, and it's wild to me how rage bait over a film, because there are those channels who do when you see people. Dudes in their 40s and stuff rage. I'm like, I don't think
dudes in their 40s it's almost as bad as dudes in their mid 30s and 40s doing fake reactions to movies that they've already seen, fake crying on the screen, fake crying for clicks. It's almost as bad as that, right? I mean, look at the thumbnail for this live stream. This freaking clown crying his fucking eyes out over a fucking movie and putting it in his fucking thumbnail. For clicks, for money. And they accuse us of grifting. They accuse us of doing everything that we do for money and everything. All these 40-year-old men who don't like Snow White. How about all the men in their 40s in Snow White Shill's defend who were having meltdowns because people don't like a movie that they liked or an actress that they liked? Exactly, Angel of Sorrow, or this guy clutching a doll. He's actually in his mid-30s, so I'm not going to push too much fake news, but how about this, chat? This guy here on the left, sitting with his legs crossed, holding a doll. How about that? I think that's a little odd, if you ask me.
Dudes in their like 40s and stuff. Rage, I'm like, I don't think Snow White was your jam growing up.
You care that much
I don't
about
think
Snow White?
you put much thought into Snow White until you saw an opportunity to rail on Rachel Zegler, who had some.
You guys literally watch every single movie in existence and do fake reactions to it. Every single movie in existence on your channel and do fake reactions to it. You do the same exact thing, but in reverse.
Who had some opinions that perhaps were not, from a PR standpoint, maybe not the smartest of opinions.
I thought you didn't know what she was I thought you didn't know what she said. I thought you said you didn't refresh your memory on that.
I don't even want to say smartest. Like, I don't
Phrased in a way
it's
that
stupid
that-
to say. Sorry, really quick. I know I'm just talking nonstop. It's stupid for me to say smartest because I don't even really remember what she said. So I don't want
For the third time, yeah, but that's not stopping you. That's not stopping you from ripping on the 40-year-old toxic grifter YouTube channels, right? It's not stopping you from doing that.
to say that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think some of her comments are particular.
Dan, are you so you're telling me that the first time he saw The Dark Knight was on this channel? Bullshit. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? You're telling me this guy never went to see The Dark Knight in 2008. He's held on and watched it for the first time on this YouTube channel and did fake reactions to it. I seriously fucking doubt that.
Well articulated to set off a certain group of people. The main one that stands out to me is like, oh, it's not about, you know, like, oh, the prince is kind of creepy in the original movie, and it's not about her trying to find true love.
Okay, so he's going over what Rachel Zegler said. We all already know that. Next soundbite is in 30 seconds. I'm just going to skip to 40 seconds. It'll start right here. All right, continue.
Notice that heavily anyway. So, like, it's a real odd thing.
Saint CP, thank you for the 20. I will not ignore your super chat. I know I'm in the middle of my rant, but I will not ignore, as always, I will not ignore your guys' super chats like Grace Randolph will if you super chat in the middle of her rant. So thank you, Saint CP, for that. I will get to it here. We're about halfway through these guys, then I will get to them. I promise. I'll never forget. I'm never going to let her forget about that.
A jig, and it is funny that people are so often like, separate the art from the artist, and yet, you know, we'll find really pedantic reasons not to do that
until it's their problem. Until suddenly they got a problem with the artist.
And so many of these controversies, I feel like, not all of them, some of them.
Oh, separate the art from the artist, right? Well, you can only do that so far. You can only do that so fucking far. She's especially when she's commenting on the art itself, right? Nice try, you guys. Because these guys definitely do that. They separate the art from the artist, right?
Are eventually revealed to be merited, but with a movie like this, most movies that have some kind of controversy like this, like once you see the actual movie, you're like, it's
okay. So we got that. We're gonna jump ahead now to I can barely read my own writing. 1:11:40. All right. Just 12. Boop, 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 boop. All right.
And like, it sounds like it's just kind of like a okay-ish missed opportunity to do something great.
I think this side of it that was like upsetting to me was like there's either way. I actually didn't put.
Oh, this poor man. It's so upsetting to him. The toxicity, right? It's just so upsetting.
Much thought into it. I'm like, I wanted to like it. I genuinely did. I went in hoping that like, oh, it would be really cool if this movie ended up being great. Like, you imagine how cool that would be. It was going to be a great film. And I really didn't like it. And it's the weird part was to be told, again, it's just, it is a fraction, a loud fraction, but it is just a fraction.
It's a fraction of their audience, but it still triggers you. Oh my God.
You didn't hate it enough. you didn't dislike it to the degree enough because of your values as a person or some shit.
No, we just want you. We want you to call it shit. Call a piece of shit a piece of shit. Call it out for what it is. We all know that you're shills. We all know that you get access to Disney. And we all know that you don't want to give that up. And you all know that you're scared to death if you come out and call a piece of shit, that they're going to take your access away. Remember, apparently they didn't get invited to Deadpool and Wolverine, and I guarantee it was because of their review for the Marvels, and that's why they came back and walked it back, but Disney still said, fuck you guys anyway, we don't need you, because that movie's going to be a success no matter what. I will never be not convinced of that. I guarantee that's what happened. Just stop shilling. We want you guys to stop shilling. That's what we want. That's what people want.
Enough because of
that's what your own fans want.
Your values as a person or some shit.
Things are that bad.
And I think I don't feel like I was sugarcoating, and this is really not about me defending myself. This is more about the larger picture of.
It's like the need for controversy.
Yeah, the need for controversy. This ugly side. This vitriol.
This hunger.
What a couple of fucking bitch. What a bunch of crybabies. Jesus fucking Christ. People say mean things on the internet. People call us shills. People, they're drumming up controversy when it doesn't need to be there. At the end of the day, it's people who are giving their opinions that you disagree with and people giving opinions that trigger you. You guys are getting triggered. That's exactly what this is. And you're crying about a fraction of your viewers, a fraction of the people who watch you guys, ripping you guys, calling you out for your shilling, and it triggers you. You guys have 1.33 million subscribers, and you have, 100 people, 200 people who fucking troll you guys, and you can't take it to the point that you come out here and talk about it and cry about it on this podcast that hardly anybody watches.
About the larger picture of
it's like the need for controversy.
Yeah, the need for controversy, this ugly side, this vitriol,
this hunger for controversy,
where you really don't want something to succeed. You really don't want you get off on it failing.
You want to yuck the yum, yeah.
And
we get this guy is it's pretty hypocritical of this guy to accuse us on like getting off on things when this guy, as you guys saw in my video Monday, this guy literally gets off. I don't know if it's metaphorically or literally, but literally gets off on his fake reactions. I mean, seriously, we watched The Mandalorian, and we watched The Mandalorian season 3. We watched Book of Boba Fett. You guys remember these guys in Book of Boba Fett when Cad Bane walked out? Jesus Christ. Go back and watch that. These guys got off on, what else they get? Loki season 1. I don't think they did for season 2. And Ahsoka episode 5. These guys literally fucking bust a fat one over the fucking, was it the mythosaur? What was the creature in the Mandalorian season 3 of the mythosaur, right? It's Mandalorian season 3 is so forgettable I don't even really remember. That's what it is, right? Mythosaur. SWA says yes. Agatha with the kids. Yes, you're right. 100%. Cringe AF.
I hate seeing it applied with something I treasure so much, which is movies. Because so many people work on these things. You know, some people just want you to be like incredibly.
So many people worked on Snow White. So many people worked on Snow White. You guys, we gotta be nice. We gotta be nice to movies. We gotta stop being mean to movies and bullying movies, right? People worked on these movies. You know, maybe, Real Rejects, just maybe, if you called a piece of shit, if you called this shit out, maybe you'd get better movies. If you guys stopped shilling and called this shit out, and use your 1.33 million subscribers, the big amount of influence you guys have, which you guys do have, maybe if you use that and called out Disney, maybe you would get some better content. You just might get some better shit. And then your reactions would be even better. And then you guys would get more views. Wouldn't that be great? Nope, but they don't want to lose their precious access.
And the older I get, the more in tune I get with that, of how there's like a ton of, at that same theater I saw it at, there was this guy who came up to me, not that day, but a different time. The time I saw Oscar.
Okay, so this is just a fanboy story. Who the hell cares? Two more, you guys. 1:14:10. I got that perfect.
I think that's what I'm getting at. Like I'm unpacking it in real time. I haven't talked about it. It just kind of makes me sad because I'm at this weird.
He's sad, you guys. Makes him sad that people are mean to these movies. This guy needs a nickname.
Part in life where like sometimes someone says something and it gets under my skin and I get really mad about it. But more often
I think that happened. What do you think, chat? I think that happens a lot. What do you guys think?
Sometimes someone says something and it gets under my skin and I get really mad about it. But
I think that happens a lot. Who fuck cares? Why do you care?
More often than not now, I'm just like, wow, what kind of individual are you? Like, how sad are you? Like, how
Oh, this poor man. This poor man. Do you guys feel sorry for him? This poor man, this poor victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim, ladies and gentlemen. I run this channel with 1.33 million subscribers, and I'm a victim of these this very vocal minority that disagrees with us.
hurt must you be to be like this ugly towards another person? Especially someone you don't know, or like someone over an opinion about a movie, especially, or an opinion about that. If you're,
oh God, I kind of want to endorse this guy for top shill this way. I see. This is again. This is why this right here, you guys. This is why again, low key. This is why I want these guys to win top shill 2025. I don't think this guy will be able to handle it. I don't think this guy will be able to handle it. I think you guys would spam every video top shills 2025. I think they would see it because they already know about me. They fucking called me out in one of their Agatha videos, as you recall. I think these guys would not be able to handle it if they won top shill of the week or top shill of the year. I think they would lose. I think they'd play it off. They'd make fun of me. And remember, Roxy's involved. Roxy hates my fucking guts. It's like, oh, that guy's chat, that guy's comments and viewers are so toxic. Yep, exactly. Fake victim.
or to find me on social media and send me a DM after seeing my YouTube video.
Pick a fight
like,
over it.
Like, who are you and why are you so sad?
This guy is triggered, chat. This guy is losing it. This guy is so fucking triggered. Listen to this. This is amazing.
Find me on social media and send me a DM after seeing my YouTube video.
Pick a fight
like,
over it.
Like, who are you? And
I guarantee it's just someone calling him a shill. Someone just saying you were paid for this. I'm telling you, these guys, they wouldn't be able to handle it.
why are you so sad? Like,
why isn't there an alternative thing?
What a victim. What a hashtag fake victim.
Can go focus on that does suit your wants and needs rather than having to put your energy into your anger about this thing.
Yeah, and it's like, how come we're at this point too?
Oh, this
and
poor
maybe
man.
It's because it was the platform I posted it on. Why are we at this point?
I wonder what platform that was, chat. Any guesses? Any guesses in the chat?
Too, where people like the same people who say like we want nuance in our stuff, but when it comes to like the journalism side, they want the soundbite. They just want you to just get it over with. They want you to just be like completely 100% just one way or another without any nuance to it.
Oh, this poor man. Okay, last one, you guys. Last one is at 1 hour and 18 minutes. Last one. And then we can finally move on.
This is so thin, and now the entertainment industry has like this middle ground that encapsulates us, that's like people online, but who are professionally kind of putting out their POV and either stoking these fires or have.
Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you're such a victim. That's a good one. Mr. Blue Sky. Mr. Blue Shirt.
Having conversation about art.
Movies and shows were supposed to be a communal experience. They're
Yeah.
supposed to be a unifying experience.
Yeah, and you can have disagreements, but
And now there's so much ugliness from people.
It continues. It continues. What a fucking crybaby, you guys.
you can have disagreements, but
And now there's so much ugliness from people who haven't even seen these things.
Oh,
They
here
haven't
we
even
go.
Seen these movies.
Here
and that's
we
the
go.
shocking part to me is like, wow.
We haven't even seen the movie. Yeah, because you had to be Albert Einstein to understand before Snow White came out that it was going to be trash. You had to be a analytical genius to understand that The Acolyte was going to be dog shit before it came out. God forbid. They're upset. I said it in the video. They're upset that people correctly predicted that Snow White was going to be shit. That's what they're pissed off about. That is what they're pissed off about, and you cannot convince me otherwise.
Ugliness from people who haven't even seen these things.
Yeah.
They haven't even seen these movies. And that's the shocking part to me is like, wow, people hate when you make up an opinion before you've seen something. People hate it. The same people raging hate that.
yeah.
The people who are mad at me for not being hateful enough, you haven't seen.
I mean, I don't care. Like, I don't care. If you're right, if you say this movie's going to be good and it's good, I'll say, okay, you were correct. And again, you guys do the same exact thing that you're accusing us of doing. You like a movie before. The guy said, I wanted to go into this movie and like it. I wanted to like this movie. You're going into it with an expectation. You're doing the same thing that we're doing, but in reverse. But it's okay when they do it because they're positive and we're toxic. That's why it's okay.
In this movie.
You probably
Like,
don't want to,
yeah.
or are set on rage watching it instead.
Yeah, you're gonna watch like a bunch of other people who echo that. The same people who bitch about hating someone's echo chamber. I'm like, you're also probably in an echo chamber yourself.
Yeah, we shout at each other from mutual echo chambers.
Yeah.
All right, you got that. Was the Real Rejects. Gregory of the Real Rejects is a little bit triggered